Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel in which we look at the lessons of A Course in Miracles, look at our awakening and physical transformation in what appears to be in the world a very tumultuous time, right? Everything seems to be in uproar, right? All across the world. It doesn't matter whether dictatorship seems to be in progression or wars or uncertainty, right? These are some tumultuous time, and 2025 promises to be a big leap in consciousness of the human mind. And the Course in Miracles is so much a part of that because it teaches you, right, to think differently. And because you're being taught to think differently, right, it's easier, right, to keep pace with that shift, with that leap in consciousness, with that leap in awareness. In the last couple of videos, I've been teaching the workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles. I'll continue with that today and just cherry pick a couple of these upcoming review lessons of the first 50 lessons in the Course in Miracles. And then we go on to the 60s and the 70s, the light lessons, the forgiveness lessons, just beautiful, gorgeous lessons that truly are designed to systematically change your mind to an entirely new way of thinking that no longer causes you suffering and binds you to this world, but instead sets you free, makes you happy, right? And brings you peace and shows you that truly you are not of this world, right? You're not, right? Your kingdom is not of this world, right? This world has nothing to do with reality. It is indeed of your own making, but it does not exist. Okay. So these are some gorgeous lessons. I'm just looking at them. One of them, for instance, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. And it says, my holiness is unlimited in its power to heal because it's unlimited in its power to save, right? This is a very true thing. There is nothing that you cannot do, right? Period. That's what this says. It says, your holiness is unlimited. It's not limited in any way. You can do anything, right? You can heal. You can save, right? Right. Because what? It's the correction of illusions, right? One of the fundamental principles of A Course in Miracles is what? There is no order of difficulty in miracles, right? One correction is not harder than another, right? Nose itches. One illusion is not harder to correct than another. An illusion is an illusion, right? Once recognized as such, right, um, they lose its power over you. So these review lessons are just gorgeous. And there is nothing that your holiness cannot do. But you first have to go to recognize your own holiness. Beautiful. And then you got these lessons about God. God goes with me wherever I go. God is my strength. Vision is his gift. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. And so on and so on. God is the light in which I see. God is the mind with which I think. Right? It's like God is everywhere you are. Right? You are not apart from God at any moment or place in time. That's not so much the issue. The issue is that your experience? Correct? Because we're always teaching to the experience. Words are just words, right? They sound good. You can use them. But finally, what brings the conviction is the experience, right? So that's what we're teaching to. We're teaching to the undoing of the way you think and see now, so that the experience that indeed there is no world, the experience that you are the Son of God, the experience that you are whole and perfect and is created by God, can come and resurface in your mind. The memory of God, if you will. I love this one. There's nothing to fear. That's not the human condition, right? As a human being, you fear constantly. Maybe you're not aware of it, but most of us are, right? There is this fear that defines you as a human being, right? And yet this says there's nothing to fear. What you fear is nothing, right? Amazing. How safe the world will look to me when I can see it. I love it. What does that say? You're not seeing it as it is now. As a matter of fact, somewhere he says you're not seeing it all. Right? No. How safe the world will look to me when I can see it. That implies that you can't see it now. But when you're seeing it, it will only give you safety. Right? It will look safe to you. It will look beautiful to you. Because what? You see that what it really is, it's like a veil, right? And when the veil gets lifted, you see the light and the love of God right behind there. That's a true experience, right? And when you have an experience like that, you'll never wholly think that this world is real, right? It'll change you forever. Wow. Great lessons, right? God's voice speaks to me all throughout the day. There's not a moment in which God's voice ceases to call on my forgiveness to save me. I mean, there's actually a voice that you can hear that speaks to you all throughout the day, right? It's the voice given to you to speak for God, right? He's always ready for you to hear him. Amazing. You can actually listen to that regardless of what you're doing, right? You can listen to that and be aware of it regardless of what you're occupied with in the world, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing, right? You can listen to that, right? Lovely. And then the last lesson of the review lessons is I'm sustained by the love of God. Love that, right? Because in this world you think you're sustained by anything but the love of God, right? You think you're sustained by food or medications or money or relationships or you name it, whatever things you've used to replace the love of God with, right? All of those are replacements for the love of God. They don't sustain you. No, no, no. You are sustained by the love of God. That is such a true experience. When you have that for a moment, and for many of us, this has become a reality, right? When you undergo your spiritual transformation and your awakening, you know that this is true. You'll learn to only rely on the love of God. You'll be given, as he so eloquently puts it in the text, anything and everything you need in time, right? For a moment, right? Whatever you think you need, you'll be given, right? But finally, it comes with the realization that what? I'm sustained by the love of God. Fact, right? There's nothing else that sustains you, just that. The rest is just replacements for that. Beautiful, right? Beautiful, beautiful review lessons. These lessons, every lesson, right, has in it the potential to completely change your mind. Why doesn't it? Because finally you don't quite accept it fully. It maybe sounds good to you, you accept it partially, but you still very much always rely on your old thought system. In that sense, it is a process, right? The process itself is not real, right? But because there seems to be a temporal progression, right, it seems to be a process. And it's such a paradox because you're looking for the thing that in truth you are already, right? You're looking for happiness. In truth, you are that, right? You're looking for love. You are love. And yet somehow you're looking for the thing that you are in truth. And how much more of a paradox can you get, right? What you're looking for, you are already. And yet somehow you don't quite believe that. So really, all it needs is acceptance, isn't it? It needs your acceptance. And it needs your trust and reliance that you don't trust in your own littleness anymore, in your own strength, but you start trusting in God. The lessons in the 60s are light lessons, and we'll do those, and I'll probably start with those next week, but they're gorgeous, right? I am the light of the world. Didn't Jesus say that 2,000 years ago? I'm the light of the world. You are the light of the world. It's one of the lessons in the Course in Miracles, right? You are the light of the world, right? That's not how the world thinks about you. If you walk into any store, a pub, and you say, hey, I'm the light of the world, I'm the savior of the world, they'll probably laugh at you. But you know it's your world. And you know that light that you're experiencing as a result of changing your mind about yourself is truly the light of God and the resolution of conflict within your own mind. You are indeed the light of the world. That's how you should think about yourself, because that's the truth about you. That the world thinks that's ridiculous, don't worry about that, right? The world will always think that um, truth is ridiculous because it's made in opposition to truth. You made it, right? It's your world. You told it what to think and what to say, and it's doing that. It represents the opposite of truth. Why? Because you made it like that. It's a place where you can come to hide from God, right? And yet there is no such place, right? There is no place in opposition to God. God is everywhere. There's nothing outside of him. So it's not real. So you hide in your own illusions. God is not hiding. He's fully accessible. So these are the lessons, right? I love it, the workbook. When you read the workbook, he says, the text serves as a theoretical framework that makes the lessons of the workbook understandable and plausible. But it's only doing, right, these exercises that brings about the experience, that brings about the change of mind, right? It's the practice of it. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. If you don't train your mind, nothing will happen, right? This is a continued 24/7 change of mind, right? Physical, spiritual transformation. It's very cellular. Most of you will feel very physical when you undergo this. That's truly what it is. Well, so be it. But yeah, you do have to train your mind. It is a mind training practice because it starts and ends with your thoughts, right? It's your thoughts that hurt you. It's your thoughts that injure you, right? And it's your thoughts that we work with so that you can be saved, that you can be freed, right? That's where the change happens with your thinking, because everything is thought, right? The universe is mind, right? Everything is thought. There's no such thing as private thoughts, right? So that's where the change occurs. Now, many of us have recognized that. So, for those of you who are kind of concerned, just a little sidestep without spending too much time on it. There's a lot going on in the world right now, right? Don't worry about it because you're waking up. And this is what goes along with that. Human mind, right? Separate mind, split mind, is undergoing awakening process because you are undergoing an awakening process. And because of that, this chaos, right, that seems to be happening in the world is a result of that. Those two are not separate. They're very much connected, right? So don't worry about it. You'll be perfectly taken care of, right? Just stay on the mark. Keep your mind on God. Keep your mind on the truth. Don't worry about any of that. That's just noise, right? None of it is so. Yes, if you get caught up in that, you think it's real, it'll look scary. Remember, none of it is real. Remember, there isn't any world. Remember, you're home in God, right? Remember, you are the light of the world. Remember, 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 right? You start remembering, you start putting your attention on truth, right? Don't worry about this. Just align yourself with truth. Okay. So these are some of the lessons I just wanted to just give to you for today, right? That's all. We always just come together for a moment just to remind ourselves, don't we? That's all, right? And then we go about and do whatever we do today. But I keep in my mind, in all my doings, the truth, right? I don't forget about it. I don't want to forget about it. I'm not distracted by what goes on here. It's not so. That doesn't mean I don't do my job or I don't do whatever I need to do today. But my mind is on that, right? I'm aligned with truth, and that keeps me happy, regardless of what seems to be happening out there, because it is truly horrible if you turn on your TV or whatever it is that brings you all that to you. No, keep your mind on God. I love you. I'll see you real soon.